What is up, inhabitants of Penguin Village? This is your resident Dr. Senbei Norimaki, otherwise known as Dr. Slump, and today I'm here to bring you another video review of Dragon Ball Z Kai. This time it's going to be episode 114. And in this week's episode, the stage is set for Goku versus Vegeta. Now, in this week's episode, overall, it was a very exposition-heavy episode. It wasn't a lot of action, which I did expect, even though the title did say Goku versus Vegeta. I did expect that this would be just the setup for it. I didn't think they would show much of the fight, which they're going to do in next week's episode. It seems that we're going to get the fight in next week's episode, but in this week's episode, we get mainly the exposition, and I must say it's very good, but I'll delve more into that in the review. Now, in this week's episode, we continue from where we left off, where Babidi has transported Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, and the Supreme Kai all to the World Tournament Arena, and they're standing off against each other. And Babidi says, well, Vegeta, I need you to hurt them as much as you can so you can get energy for Majin Buu. And Vegeta says, well, I'm not going to hurt anybody unless it's Kakarot. He's the only one that I care about, so the rest of them can just blow away. And Babidi's like, fine, whatever. And Vegeta starts blasting at Goku. And Goku is like, you idiot, why are you doing this? And he tries to block him, but it's too powerful. Goku isn't at Super Saiyan form yet. So basically what happens is that the tournament audience suffers as Goku's failure to block the attack, and some of the tournament audience does unfortunately die. And this is really, really shocking that Vegeta would go to such extremes to fight Goku. And Goku seems very shocked at this fact. He seems that he's shocked, he's angry, and he just does not want to do this. He's hesitant to do this. You can see that all in his face. And he asks Vegeta, are you letting Babidi control you? Did you let this happen? And Vegeta's rebuttal to that is that he blasts more of the tournament audience, and it starts to destroy more of the ring. And Goku looks in utter shock again, and he starts getting angrier. And Goku turns Super Saiyan, and he asks him once again, did you do this? Did you let Babidi control you? And it seems a little bit redundant at this point, but Vegeta finally gives a verbal answer, and he says, yes, I did it so I can fight you, and that I didn't have to wait any longer. I'm tired of waiting. I want to fight. And like I said in last week's episode, this kind of doesn't make sense just because of the fact that Goku is within reach after they defeat Dabura and Babidi, and it really didn't seem very thought out in Vegeta's part. I think that was something that was mishandled by Akira Toriyama. I don't think that he handled that well at this point, at least, and I think that Vegeta has not been taken care of as a character. I think that consistency in his character has been thrown off a bit with this because he's never really acted like this, as I stated in last week's episode review. So we see that Supreme Kai is shocked by this fact, and he's like, are you insane? You guys are idiots. And Vegeta looks at him and he's like, am I insane? Are we idiots? This is what I live for. I'm a Saiyan Prince, the highest class of Saiyan, and he's a third class warrior, and he's outstripped me in power. He's stolen my honor. He saved my life as if I was a child, and he must pay for that. And it's here where we see one of the real reasons, if not the real reason, why Vegeta really does want to fight Goku, is that he's developed an inferiority complex. He's held himself up to that standard, and Goku has outstripped him, and he has now developed an inferiority complex because he can't live up to those standards. And Goku says, you know what? I'll fight you. Babidi, take us to a place where there aren't many other people, and I'll fight Vegeta. And Supreme Kai's like, no, I can't let you do that, Goku. You'll have to defeat me first. And Goku raises up his hand at Supreme Kai, and that shows something that Goku's never really done before. Out of every one of his masters, out of every one of the higher deities, he's never raised a hand to them. This is the very first time that has happened, and that shows back when he let Vegeta go and he said he wanted to fight Vegeta. This shows how much he really does want to fight Vegeta. Now, Supreme Kai is obviously like, you know what, do what you will. I'm not willing to get killed over this. And Babidi transports them with much delight that they're at each other's throats. And he transports them to a deserted area. And Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, and Supreme Kai are sent there, and Supreme Kai's like, you know what, this is fine. I'll just destroy the ship before Majin Buu releases at full power. And Babidi's like, oh no you don't, Vegeta, destroy him. And Vegeta starts struggling, and then he finally says, no, I refuse. I will not destroy the Supreme Kai. I will not fight anybody but Kakarot. And Babidi's like, what are you talking about? You're my slave. And he's like, no, I'm not your slave. You may have taken over my body and my soul, but you'll never take over me, my pride. And Babidi's like, oh my God, so much pride. And Deborah's like, it's fine. We'll be able to extract energy from their fight. Just let the other two down here so we can take care of them. And Babidi's like, yeah, I suppose you're right. So he does so. And as soon as they start to go down to the ship, Goku's like, Gohan, eat one of these senzu beans. You need it to recover your stamina. And Gohan's like, well, yeah, I guess so. Sorry, Dad. And he's like, don't worry about it, Gohan. Just get angry and you'll be able to do anything you set your mind to. And Gohan's like, yeah, but I'm really sad that this special day between us had to come to a close on this kind of note. And Goku just smiles at him as Gohan flies down the ship. Now we get into the next scene where Goku and Vegeta are facing off, and Goku comes in there a little bit cocky. He's like, well, I'll end this quickly at full power. And he transforms into Super Saiyan 2. And Vegeta's like, oh, you're stronger than Gohan was when he was a kid. All right, well, let's see how you like this. And he transforms into Super Saiyan 2. And Goku's kind of shocked. He's like, this may take a little bit longer than I thought. I may have underestimated you. And Vegeta's like, yeah, let's do this. They stance up, and that's the end of this episode. Now, this week's episode I thought was a good episode. I really did. And I liked the exposition, as I stated before in the beginning of the review. I did like the exposition mainly because we do get to see more of Vegeta's psychological complexity. We do get to see that he has developed an inferiority complex because of the blows that he's been handed by Goku with the feats that he's done. Goku has really destroyed his honor, as he said in this episode. And it's interesting to see that we finally get to see the effects that Vegeta and the extremes that he's willing to go to fight Goku and redeem himself and really just settle the score once and for all. But overall, this week's episode was a good episode. I give it like an 8 out of 10. This has been your resident doctor, Senbei Norimaki, otherwise known as Dr. Slump. I'd like to thank you guys again for watching this week. Rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe as always. And I'll catch you guys next week for another Dragon Ball Z Kai review. Peace. Have a great day.